Hello, friends. Wow, so far so good. I welcome you to Iron Facts TV and our mentorship and training program, mentorship and leadership training program, as we continue to look at social media evangelism. In this particular video, we are considering module 2. Remember, we've done module 1, which is Adventism and social media. This particular module is SDA Online Presence, and I welcome you on a special note. I believe you are ready, and I am hopeful you have been able to go through the first video. It is very important, at least, to be prepared for this particular one. So, without wasting much time, let's get into business. Of course, we invite the presence of the Holy Spirit to lead us in our discussion. We all have agreed, of course, having gone through the first video, that the church needs to get busier online, okay? There are a lot of resources online we can utilize to reach a lot of people, because the idea to fly in the midst of heaven, remember, we are represented by the angels flying in the midst of heaven. So that idea of flying in the midst of the heavens is something that we can only be able to practically achieve by using appropriate technology. Their basic meaning is, all right, and their basic functions are websites. Then we try to know the functional types of websites. Every website has a particular function, all right, and we would like to link it to what we have been discussing, that is with regards to social media evangelism. So we look at websites, the functional types of websites. Then we will want to know and follow notable church websites. In fact, this is the main motive for this particular video, to be able to exploit most of the church websites and how we can utilize them for the agenda of evangelism. Then we will be able, after going through the first objectives, that is knowing what websites are, knowing the functional types, and going through some church websites, we'll be able to now blog, right? I hope your fingers are ready, your smartphones, your laptops, whichever device you would want to use. I hope it is ready, because we are going to have practical feel of what it is to blog. Of course, we will know first what a blog is. So let's get the ball rolling. It is very evident that we can fly, and by implication, I mean we can share the word of God online very efficiently if we can utilize websites, all right? And that is one thing that you, as a digital missionary, shouldn't forget. But before you can utilize such a wonderful tool, you may want to ask yourself, what at all is a website? On a basic term, a website is a collection of interlinked web pages accessible from the same base URL on the same server. Okay, so maybe you might be thinking, oh, these are two big ICT words. Don't worry, a website is simply something that you see online, and it is collectively put together from individual web pages. Okay, so anything you click using a URL here is a uniform resource locator. That is why you type, when you use your keyboard to type www.adventist.org, you use that particular address to launch your website. Okay, and usually a website has that URL, then it is a collection of interlinked web pages found on the same server. Okay, don't get dumbfounded, don't get confused, because as we go along, you'll be able to appreciate what we are trying to say. So next, what are the functional types of websites? There are a lot of websites, several of them. In fact, if you would want to categorize websites, then you would have a lot of work to do. But when it comes to functions, then at least we can group them into significant criteria. All right. Number one, a website can be a portal. That is, a website can offer a variety of internet services from a single and a convenient area on the internet or on the World Wide Web. All right. Most of the portals offer free services like search engines, news, sports, weather, web publishing, reference tools such as yellow pages, stock codes, maps, shopping, email, and other communication services. So one of the famous portals is Yahoo. Okay, Yahoo is a famous portal that most of us, I believe, have come across. Then secondly, a website can be a news website, and that is very popular, of course, to many of us who usually want to know the current issues and how things are running in its current era. All right, so a news website contains interesting material including stories and articles relating to news, money, sports, life, and time. So many magazines, newspapers sponsor websites that offer summaries of printed articles, okay, and sometimes items that are not included in the printed versions. Okay, popular websites which usually have news are Al Jazeera, BBC, and in Ghana here you have My Joy Online, very popular, where you get most of the news covered by Joy TV and Joy News. Then thirdly, you can have an informational website. Okay, I think the name resonates with its basic function. An informational website is that site which is created in order to provide a customized and a branded resource, okay, for potential and active customers, members, investors, and so forth. Okay, these websites are usually content and design driven. Basically, that is what an informational website does. Gives general information about something. So you can check and see that I've launched a particular example of an informational website. Whenever you would want to tab information, you can go through some of these websites like Science Direct and a whole host of them. Then number 4, a website can be a business website, which I believe also resonates with its basic meaning. A business or a marketing website contains links and web pages that promote or sell products and services. Okay, and many, if not all, of most of the popular companies and firms into selling and buying are usually affiliated to a website, and one of the most popular one is Amazon. Yes, very popular. Actually, currently, the world's richest man is the owner and the chairperson of Amazon, Jeff Bezos. And this tells you that businesses with websites are really, really thriving and hitting the mark in terms of financial recognition. Okay, so that is a business website. Then you can have a blog. Many a time people confuse themselves with what a website is and what a blog is. Surely they are two different things, very different. Just that you have to understand that every blog is a website. or should I say, it is usually hosted on a website. So note that a blog, which is actually a short form for weblog, is an informal website consisting of timestamp or post articles or diary or journal format, usually listed in reverse chronological order. Okay, some blogs may contain video clips called video blog or vlog. A microblog, on the other hand, allows users to post short messages, usually between 100 and 200 characters, for others to read. And one popular microblog is Twitter, which I know many of you are very familiar with. So note that a blog website. Then we can have a wiki, and they have really been able to craft a cliche for themselves, talking about Wikipedia, because wiki actually comes from Wikipedia. So a wiki is just a collaborative website that allows users to create, add, edit, or delete the contents of a website using their web browser. Alright, so you should know that many wikis are open to modification by the general public, and Wikipedia is a staunch example. Okay, so you can have a wiki website, and an example, as I said, is Wikipedia. You can search a whole lot of information on a wiki website. Then 7 is an online social network, and you can also call it a social networking website. And this is a site that encourages members to an online community to share interests, ideas, stories, photos, music, and videos with other registered users. And throughout this particular course, the social media evangelism course in our mentorship and leadership training program, we have been trying to exploit the significance of many of these online social media platforms. And as we have been able to understand through the statistical analysis that we did in our first video, Facebook happens to be the leading name in terms of social network recognition. Okay, so in effect, Facebook is an example of a social networking website, and I know most of you, of course, are in love with Facebook. Then a website can be an educational one. Okay, an educational website, and it offers exciting avenues and stimulating teaching, formal or informal learning opportunities online. Okay, so on the web you can learn how to style your hair or how to even cook a particular meal through an educational website. And there are a lot of educational websites like Khan Academy, Udemy, lynda.com, and one popular one is WikiHow, which I know most people utilize online. Very popular, WikiHow. You can search a lot of entries on how to do a particular thing. Number 9. Well, we are living in a world where sometimes you would want to entertain yourself, and entertainment happens to be everywhere, including on websites. So you can have an entertainment website which offers an interactive and engaging environment. Popular entertainment sites offer music, video, sports, games, web episodes, sweepstakes, chat room, and a whole lot more. So you can mention a whole lot of entertainment websites like Audiomack, SoundCloud, a lot of them. You can Google or search them with a search engine, and you can realize a lot of these entertainment websites. Then number 10, there are websites specifically launched and created for advocacy. All right, so they are advocacy websites, and they contain content that describe causes, opinions, or ideas. All right, these websites usually have views of a particular group or association, and you can have a whole host of them. Usually you have these environmental protection agencies scattered around the world having a particular advocacy website. All right, you can talk about History Channel, Nat Geo Wild, and other websites interested in at least protecting the natural reserves of the earth. Okay, then 11, as we have been interested in trying to know more about web applications, there can also be a web application website, okay, or a web app, and that allows users to access and interact with a particular software through a web browser, okay, on any computer or device, as long as it is connected to the internet. So many of the applications that we use offline usually have web applications online. Okay, so an example is Excel, Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Word, Google Sheets. All of them usually have web application counterparts online, which you can access whenever possible. Then there can be a content aggregator. All right, and that is a business that collects and organizes and distributes web content or feeds, okay, to the subscriber free of charge or on payment. And many of the news, music, videos, and pictures in a particular website content form part of a content aggregator website. You can talk of our top, which is very popular when it comes to content aggregation. So please note that. Then some of us usually want to be personal. We want to share what we have. We want to share our experiences, the events which happen in our lives, and we do that through personal websites. So a family would often want to share their travels, their special events by using their personal websites, okay, and that is another way, or that is another function of a website. So what is the difference between a blog and a website? Which one would you want to choose? Of course, let me remind you, whatever we are discussing is aimed at gathering enough information and preparing ourselves to be able to fully exploit every resource in achieving the aim of spreading the word of God online. So you would want to know the difference between a blog and a website. A blog is a website that allows users to share opinions, discuss ideas, and comment in a usually informal way. Okay, it is usually informal in tone. So all social media networks are actually blogs hosted on particular servers. All right, so when you own a particular account on any social media, then you are running a blog, because when you post something, you share your opinion, you discuss your idea, then in turn people also comment. All right, so note the differences: a blog and a website. But in our bid to fly, it is our responsibility to know and be able to follow and share websites of our church. Okay, it is an evangelistic means in itself to be able to broadcast the happenings and the evangelistic occasions of the church which are aired online. And by doing this, it is important to be able to use the websites and the blogs of the church. So let's look at notable websites run and administered by the Seventh-day Adventist Church. And it will surprise you that every website we are going to discuss has a social media handle. Every one of them has that particular handle. So you may have Twitter on them, you may have Facebook, Pinterest. All of them are within the websites that we are going to discuss. And what does it tell you? It tells you that we are very well linked to the social media, okay? And that is our focus throughout this particular program. So first on the list, of course, should be Adventist.org, because that is the mother website of the church. And that is where, if nothing at all, if there exists no other online resource, here is where you can find whatever that is happening as far as the Seventh-day Adventist Church, the world church actually, is concerned. So when it comes to events, when it comes to monthly releases, programs, special messages from the World Church President and other General Conference executives, then you are to visit no other than Adventist.org. Remember, www.adventist.org is the URL, Uniform Resource Locator, to usher you into the website of the Seventh-day Adventist World Church. So note that it is our prerogative to be able to exploit this website. Alright? As a digital missionary, you have to be acquainted with Adventist.org. Then there is this online companion to Spectrum. Okay, Spectrum is a journal established to encourage Seventh-day Adventist participation in the discussion of contemporary issues from, of course, and that is very important, a Christian viewpoint, to look without prejudice at all sides of a subject, to evaluate the merits of diverse views, and to foster intellectual and cultural growth. Okay, if you want to launch Spectrum, then you can just type the URL spectrummagazine.org. Then you can be able to enjoy the various resources on Spectrum Magazine. So this is another website you don't want to miss. Okay, very, very educative, as it links us. Of course, we are dealing with current issues. It links us to current issues. Then we juxtapose it with the Bible. That is our creed of faith. Then the third one, usually we would want to know the current issues in the church. Okay, and that is offered by AdventistToday.org. And that is an independent journalism ministry serving the global Adventist community. And readers interested in a reliable source of information about Adventist faith institutions are directed here. Remember, AdventistToday.org, because it is an organization. So note that. Once again, our history is not left. Okay, the church gives prior significance to its heritage, or should I say to her heritage, because according to Revelation chapter 12, we are a wife, a bride to Jesus Christ. Okay, so AdventistReview.org is a flagship journal of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, and it is the longest running religious journal in America. Wow, we have come a long way. So the purposes and mission of the journal are to inform, educate, and inspire the denomination it serves. Okay, so any issue regarding the changes, the developments in the church, this particular website gives it all to you. Okay, so as a digital missionary, this is one resource you don't want to miss. Very important. Of course, we cannot leave entertainment, and when I say entertainment in our circles, I mean the opportunity to listen to music, of course, Christian music, and Bible preachings, teachings, sermons, and all of that. Audioverse gives you the utmost reliable source for this particular opportunity to listen to sermons and other Bible studies recorded for us. Okay, Audioverse is an online connection of thousands of Bible-based media content that are available for streaming and for download. Okay, here you can get audios of notable SDA preachers and expositors. Okay, Audioverse. Just Google and you are there. Audioverse.org. You have to note that. In fact, I enjoy most sermons from this particular website. So you can see that if we are going to exploit every website that is recognized in the church, then of course we will have to use a lot of space to record in this video. So I'll just leave it to you. Take time as you are looking at them on the screen. There are other very important websites you don't want to miss, especially if you are an Adventist youth. Then one resource or website that you cannot miss is the youth.adventist.org, which is the official SDA Youth website. It has a whole lot of online resources for spiritual growth and evangelism. Then for those of us who are within the public campus ministries, okay, those of us who are within institutions which are not established by the Seventh-day Adventist Church, these institutions are classified as public campuses. Then we also are privileged to have a website. It is actually a web page on the Adventist.org, which is pcm.adventist.org. You may want to visit this website always, at least to get more encouraging ways to reach out. Then of course, on the third week of every October, we have our PCM weekend celebrations, which I really enjoyed when I was at the tertiary level. So I encourage you to visit this website. Then for us, it is our mandate to get inspired by the spirit of prophecy through the writings of A.J. White. And luckily, we have a website devoted to a whole host of inspired writings as far as the gift of prophecy in the church is concerned. And you can tap that through whiteestate.org. Alright? And that is the Ellen G. White Estate website, where we can have a lot of resources to grow spiritually, then to prepare others for the soon coming of Christ. Within the church, we give much importance to biblical research, and that is why the church has a biblical research institute. Okay, the AdventistBiblicalResearch.org is the website for biblical research and expositions on some difficult doctrines and teachings that the church upholds. Okay, here you get a whole lot of very important doctrines explained for us. Then Amazing Facts is also there. They are doing a marvelous work together with Amazing Discoveries, Three Angels, Broadcasting Network, Hope TV, Secrets Unsealed, a lot of them. So you can go through the website and have a whole lot of resources And especially for you, especially for us, including myself, we have the opportunity to get a lot of resources to spread the word of God, because that is our mandate. So for amazing facts, you can launch amazingfacts.org. For amazing discoveries, you can launch amazingdiscoveries.org, which is currently headed by Professor Veit, and he is doing a marvelous work. And for my amazing facts, you have Pastor Doug Batchelor. They are really hitting the mark for Christ, and I'm usually happy to see all of these people seriously involved in trying to reach out to the world. Then you have 3abn.org, a host of wonderful servants of God always trying to share the word of God. Then once again, secretsunsealed.org, where you have another wonderful expositor when it comes to prophecy, when it comes to deep Bible exegesis. Then you would want to consider someone like Pastor Stephen Ball, and he happens to be the director for secretsunsealed.org. Then when you come to Ghana, we are privileged to have a wonderful family of believers, and that is the Ghana National Association of Adventist Students. Of course, we are within the public campus ministries of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, but in Ghana, this is such a wonderful family. If you are within a wonderful family, then you would want to know the website of the family, and that is nas.org. Alright, so take time and go through all of these to get all the resources needed to follow the Ghana National Association of Adventist Students wherever we go, our events, and every development in this wonderful association. So, how can we create and share the gospel of the kingdom? Through a personal blog. Alright, you can talk of Facebook, Twitter, and all of that. But how can we probably utilize a proper blogging site? And we have a lot of free blogging sites, Blogger, WordPress, and of course the social media. But we would want to have a practical feel of what it means to blog from the scratch, okay, using an online free blogging site. So come with me. I hope you are ready, your smartphones, your laptops, and you have an internet connection. Alright, because we are blogging using a web application online. Ready? Let's start. So here we go. If you have a browser, you launch it. I am using Microsoft Edge, so I'll launch Microsoft Edge. You can equally use Google, or when you are on a Mac, you can use Safari. Alright, so we quickly type in the address bar blogger blogger.com, and we enter. We are launching Blogger. Remember, that is our blogging platform for this video. My internet connection a bit slow, but we are hoping to launch Blogger. Good. So here is the home page of blogger.com. Okay, so we click on this hyperlink, create your blog. Then I have clicked on it. So we wait for the next web page. Then you have to choose a Google account. Okay, to access Blogger, you would have to use an email. So I would want to use my fellowship's email. Yes, NAS email. So I press on that one. So you have to press on the email with which you have logged into Google. Okay, so remember, you cannot blog on Blogger if you don't have an email account. a Google email account. You have to note that. So the first thing we need to put out is the title, the name you would want your blog to have. Okay, that is the title that will be displayed at the top of your blog, so that anyone who launches your blog, who uses the link to get into your blog, will see that, okay, this particular blog belongs to this guy. Okay, and that name should be a name that is unique. Of course, you don't want to choose a name that will push people away. All right, so I would want to choose digital missions. Yeah, so I go to next. Then I'll have to choose a URL for my blog. Remember the uniform resource locator. So whenever someone wants to launch the blog, that is your blog that you have created, the person has to put this particular address in the browser's address bar. All right, so because we are still within social media evangelism, I would want to use social. Let me click. I would want to use social media evangelism. Okay, so social, we're going to use lowercase. Social media evangelism. And you can see that Blogger is telling me that this particular name is not available. Usually this happens when probably someone has already used the name. So unfortunately we have to change it. So let me type something else. Let's say digital boy. Whoa, that one is also taken. Then what do we do? Heaven Portal 1, 2, 3. All right, so this one is available. Heaven Portal 1, 2, 3. So let's move on. Next. Then your display name. Okay, your readers have to know your name. So I would want to say digital, then finish. All right, so Blogger is processing our entries. Soon we will see the results of our blog. It's very, very simple. Remember, number one, launch blogger.com, www.blogger.com. Then in the next web page, you click on create your blog. Then after create your blog, you enter the address, right, the one with which you will launch your blog. Then you type the display name, then you type your name with which anyone who visits your blog will be able to know you. So this is the home page. This is my probably I would want to say dashboard for the Blogger account I have created. So you can see that on the left pane, the name with which I registered my blog is very clear there. All right, then you can create a new post. That is, if you want to type in a new post, you can create that using this particular hyperlink. Then you can view your posts with this, and whatever happens regarding your posts, the people who view your posts, the comments that come in, all the statistics can be viewed using this particular button. That is after you have been able to create a post. All right, then you can view the comments only, and Google has an algorithm that helps all those who blog to earn something. All right, which is not the main focus of this particular video, but Google has that, and you can use AdSense to generate income. That is, if you are going to blog very, very well, to the extent that many people visit your blog. Then you can create pages, more like different groups of blogs. So let's say you can have a blog that contains only inspirational messages. So you would want to create it as an inspirational page. Then you would have probably a blog that has only prophecy topics. Then you could have prophecy page. So you can group your blogs or your posts in pages. All right, then you can look at the layout, how you'd want the appearance to be together with the theme, how would you would want your blog to be. Then settings, that is where I would want to go now. You can add a bit of some changes to your blog, of course, after you have been able to go through the process of creating it. There might be certain things you would want to change, and in the settings area is where you see all the features of your blog. So you can see that the title is here, while we first of all added when we created the blog. Then you can add a description. Okay, you can add a description about your blog, and you can add it in about 500 characters. So let's say I would want to say let me use caps for a new wonderful way of sharing. I'll go back there. The love of Christ is here for you. Enjoy it. Okay, so good, we saved that one. So that will be our description. Whenever someone logs into our blog, the person can see that particular description. Then you can choose the language, and you can select adult content or not. All right, but we want to reach everyone, so we do not select that particular one. So you can go through all of them. A lot of other important settings that you can add. Very, very wonderful for us. So let's move on to how to create our new post. So we click on new post, then we wait for the typing area to create our new post. Yes, so this is our new post. So we begin by typing the title of our blog. Okay, what we want the blog's title to be. So in this case, we would want to look at for me, I would want to look at abstract of evangelism. Abstract of evangelism, that will be the title of my blog, and it is automatically saved. All right, then I'll progress to the content of the blog. I've already copied something from my Microsoft Word document, so I'll just paste. Okay, Control V. So this is the content that I want to have. So you can actually do a lot of changes to the content, the same way you would want to format a lot of parts in your Word document. So you can either bolden like you do in Microsoft Word. Okay, you can see that it's bold. You can italicize, you can underline, you can make a lot of changes to the content. You can add links, insert or edit link. You can add an image, you can add a video or an emoji or special characters as you would technically want to put it. So basically that is what you can do in the typing area of your blog. So when you get your time and you go through all that I've said, you can see that you can explore a lot of functions at the content area. So maybe you would want to see the output of what we have typed so far. Okay, we can preview what we have typed. All right, so let's preview here using this button preview, and let's see how the blog would look like when someone uses the link to access it. Okay, preview is loading, so let's wait and see how it looks like. So whenever someone uses your link, okay, to access your blog, this is what the person will see. All right. So a very nice blog. Of course, it is basic. Okay, so you remember the description I wrote is here. Then the name of the blog is also here. Then the title of my blog post is here. Then the date. Of course, today's date is 16th December. So it is also here. Then the content. So you could have added images, videos, and all of that. So that is the preview. So let's go back and continue with our editing. So you can see that on the right pane there are other buttons you can consider. You can see when it was published. You can actually edit. Okay, you can set a date and a time for it, or you use the automatic one which fills it automatically depending on the time on your computer system. All right, I think we wouldn't want to tamper with that because it is actually right. Then you can see a permalink, and that is the link automatically generated when you post your first blog. All right, so whenever we want to share a blog or the blog that we have created, we just have to copy this one. Okay, we just have to copy this, then we share. All right, you just have to copy this, and anyone who would want to view this particular blog or post will have to launch it using this address. Then you can add your location and the whole other options, which when you have time you can go through them one after the other. So let's publish. Okay, let's publish and see how our blog will look like. But before then, let's add a bit of some editing. Then let's see if we can do something to this one. Let's see, I would want to place it as a quote. Okay, so let's do it this way. You can see it's now placed in the format of a quote. All right, just as you see in most of the documents that we have in our church whenever we want to quote a particular reference. Okay, so let's now publish and see how it is going to look like using the publish button. Yes, so we will want to confirm because everything is okay for us. So we go. So our post is now published. All right, so on your dashboard you can see that whenever you launch Blogger using the account that you created, okay, when you launch it, immediately the web page loads. Your first dashboard will always have your first post, and in this case this is ours. All right, so you can just view it by clicking on it. Then you can add or remove anything. All right, just as you began creating it by typing in what you wanted to type. So this is it. All right, very, very simple. So whenever you want to share the blog to someone, remember that you copy the link to your blog, and I copied so I can just paste here for you to see. All right, so that was the link. Okay, when you paste this particular link on your WhatsApp status, on your Facebook page, people can just access what you want them to read on your blog. So let's say I launch my browser. I want to now open my Blogger account. I'll just type Blogger. Remember, we had a name, so actually we are supposed to type the full name or the full address of our Blogger page. Okay, and you have to remember the name of your blog, very important. And we used Heaven Portal 123. Luckily for us, we have the address stored in the database of the browser, so we just move on. So here we are. This is the home page of our blog. Anyone who visits our blog would have to see something like this. All right, and we have a lot of features. When you have fully added all the needed details in your blog, then you can have your picture here. Anyone who would want to can visit your profile. All right, so whenever you want to share, you remember I talked about a permalink. You can just access it with this. So you click on the share button, then you either get the link or you directly share with Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, or through your email. Okay, so we can share via Facebook, or we get the link. So I would want to get the link, and it is copied. So wherever I post it, anyone who clicks on that particular link will have access to my blog and can read. Alright, it's very, very easy if you are really eager to share the gospel through online blogging opportunities. Alright, and Blogger offers all the needed resources to be able to share online, and that is what the digital missionary has to do. Okay, oops, well, I think my data is out. So practice on your own and be happy to own a blog to share the messages online. Remember, we can only do this by properly utilizing appropriate technology, and that includes blogger.com, Facebook, and all other social media platforms. Stay tuned for the next video.